Right, Alexander Isak has landed by private jet alongside his representative and their head of recruitment, Steve Nixon. Ashworth and Nixon have spent the past 48 hours in Spain agreeing the deal for the striker. The 24-year-old has yet to agree personal terms, but it is not thought to be a problem. And the Swedish international will undergo his medical.
To discuss the situation, of course, that has surrounded him for the majority of the summer. As we know, Alexander Isak training away from the group. He refused to play against Liverpool last night, who, of course, as we know, are trying to sign him. Refused to play against Aston Villa in the season opener the week before that as well, and has been for the majority of the summer agitating to leave the football club. Now, it will be interesting to see what comes out of that meeting, whether it was a case of a last try from the PIF, the club's owners, to try and convince Alexander Isak to stay. I would suggest with the promise of a new contract, a pay rise and the ability to maybe leave next summer, or was it a discussion to say, look, yes, you could actually move on to Liverpool, because as we know, they are still interested in signing the Newcastle striker. And of course, just to add intrigue and an extra mystique to the whole situation, of course, it was Liverpool who were playing Newcastle here last night here at St James's Park, and of course left with a 3-2 win thanks to that 100th minute winner. So there was a sting in the tail for Newcastle United last night. Will there be a sting in the tail with this Alexander Isak situation? I still don't think it's written in stone as to whether the Swedish striker will remain or leave. But of course, if he was to leave for Liverpool between now and Monday's deadline, it would be for a Premier League transfer record, and Newcastle working furiously in the background to try and line up a couple of replacements. But that has been the case, of course, for a number of weeks now.
Hard question to answer this, Keith, but how do you expect things to unfold then over the next 6 days?
Yeah, well, look, I think the best way to explain it is plates are spinning at the moment. That has been the case for some time. Look, we knew that Newcastle have tried to bring in a couple of replacements for Alexander Isak to allow him to move to Liverpool. They came so close for Benjamin Sesko, who opted for Manchester United. They came so close for Hugo Ekitike, who, of course, ironically scored here at St James's Park for Liverpool last night in that 3-2 win. But they're spinning plates, they're trying to bring in replacements. I still believe that if Newcastle manage to bring in 2 replacements, he will be allowed to go. But there is a feeling from certain elements from within the club, certain people from in the club, that they would love Alexander Isak to stay, none more so than the manager Eddie Howe, who has gone on record as to say he would love to have him at his disposal. But he did, after the match, Eddie Howe last night, essentially plead for a